Welcome back to Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. I'm personal financial planner, columnist, and financial therapist Rick Kahler. Research tells us that 90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally, not logically. For nearly 4 decades, I've been helping people make better money decisions. So what makes my financial worldview different from most financial experts? I blend the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Good money decisions are not just about the money. So let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to another edition, and I'm excited to have Prudence Zhu with us today. And Prudence is, she has a pretty rich background that I'll let you go through. But when did we first meet? It feels like it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Not that long, but it's been a while. Yeah. I think we met at the Shift conference. Was it 2023 or 2024?
Oh, okay. That was the shift before the new shift.
Yes.
Which is now FPA Shift.
Yes.
Which used to be the FPA Retreat.
That I didn't know.
So tell us a little bit about your history and how you got to be doing what you're doing as a certified financial therapist.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a lot. As you said, my background is very different than most financial therapists. And I think, to put it short, it's I grew up in China and always thought like there's more to life and the world. So after graduation, I went to West Africa, did private equity, which was the highest paying job I could find back then. For 2 years, didn't like it, came to the US, got my MBA, and then was looking for like a work-life balance. So coming out of the MBA program, I went to corporate finance. That's where I got my CPA. And meanwhile, I did real estate investing, stock investing, built a family, had 2 kids, had 2 maternity leaves, and was reflecting on my life at the second maternity leave and figured I really want to do something for myself and I really want to go into entrepreneurship. So I went back to school, got another master's program on on innovation and venture development at ASU. That's where we moved. And coming out of that program, I did 100 interviews in the finance industry and felt like I really appreciate the people who are doing fee-only and life planning work or human-centered work. So far, I got from, corporate America to financial planning and comprehensive fee-only financial planning. And then it was my personal journey that led me to financial therapy. Because in 2021, I hit my freedom number, and that was anti-climactic. So basically, for decades, I've been working towards that goal. And when I finally reached there, I didn't see that my problem went away. If anything, they were more acute, because now I should have the time and the resource to address all my problems, but they are still there. And that's what led me to therapy. Well, before that was life planning with George Kinder, Kinder Institute of Life Planning. And then still, my problem was still there. It wasn't like I started to be more aware and I had better skills in communicating, but then I had to go on the therapy side to really figure out like what's the structure I need in order to help me and the people around me. And that's where I am now. I'm very deep on the therapy side, and I help my clients to have the therapeutic approach and sometimes referral out. So it is common that my clients work both with me and another therapist.
That is such a fascinating story because it has so many layers in it. And what I think you really bring out that I believe is important for anybody to know, important for financial planners, financial therapists to know, financial professionals to know, is there's a difference between knowing about life planning, knowing about the tools like you gain through the Kinder Institute, which I was in the second cohort of instructors ever trained back in 2000 with George. So I'm very familiar with that. And and then saying, but it was still there. And you're reminding me of with that second cohort I went through in 2000, we'd go back and start working with people, and still there was like a third of the folks that just weren't getting it. They couldn't dream, they couldn't look forward, and we were thinking we were doing something wrong. We're not putting it in the right language or terminology. And what I came to discover is, simplistically, I say a person can only look as far forward as they've looked backward in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be those traumas, those that are in our past, those legacy money scripts, burdens, if you will, that don't get resolved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so your story so much brings that out that I think it's an amazing example.
Yeah, and I want to add another layer to it. It is important to know where you're coming from, but also it is a lot of hard work to turn that around. And now my work is really trying to, build guardrails and structures and good habits so that it can be, it can be achievable and doable and also sustainable.
And you're talking about building structures and guardrails within yourself.
Within myself, with my clients, anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think this also puts a light on something else that I say over and over, how important it is for financial professionals, especially financial therapists, people doing life planning, to do their own work.
Yes.
And the work isn't done at one point in time, like, well, I did it. At least that's not my experience. Just recently, I've come across some early money stories I didn't even know I had. And I've been at this for, a good 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how is this possible? So I just love that, especially with all of your degrees and intentionality, that you still needed to do your money work. And
Absolutely.
that is just beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, in therapeutic world, we say garlic and onions, right? The onions, you just keep peeling the layers, and then garlic is like you keep discovering there's one more clove.
Yes. Yes. And IFS, in fact, I was at a week with the founder a couple of months ago, and he made that exact comment that in a lot of modalities it's peeling the onion. With IFS, it's more like going to the head of garlic and finding a new clove, and you get that all processed, and then like, oh no, there's another new clove and another.
That's exciting for me. It's like an entire different perspective and a different set of new potentials and possibilities.
Yes. So in the course of doing all this, you wrote a book.
Yes, A Couple's Guide to Money.
Very nice. Grow closer, dream bigger, and thrive together.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So this is a big book, basically. Like everybody tells me it's like a big book. And it's true, and it's very different than most financial planning books out there, and you can tell by the cover. We did it intentionally, so it's not the the professional dry and clean cover. It's more like cartoonish, more relatable cover, and the language in the book is also very dinner table style, not like portfolio presentation style. And the content of the book is more about emotions around money, love and fear. That's the first two chapters. And then vision, ideal day, week, and year of your life, and the change that you want to make. So those are the chapter 3 and 4. And then 2 chapters on knowledge, financial literacy, and financial planning. 1 chapter on action, which is keeping momentum and taking action, taking small actions. And last chapter is cross-culture communication.
Nice. The one thing that I did notice about your book is it's one of the few books that deals with emotion and the logistics of financial planning.
I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with my business as well, because we are like the technical side is our bread and butter, but we cannot achieve the result of the technical knowledge without knowing the human side.
Yeah, I am reminded of that quite often, that folks like myself and some of the early pioneers that stumbled across financial therapy or financial life planning, we were so taken with the therapy side, and we really emphasized the therapy side because we had the financial planning side. We had that down. And even with all of the emphasis on the therapeutic side, to your point, it's still called financial therapy. It's financial.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And all of the planning, all of the numbers have a place and really matter.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It's my client tells me that she could talk about all the past history patterns, cognitive behavior things about, to her therapist, but her therapist does not know what to do with money, and sometimes her therapist would just give bad financial advice.
Yes.
And finance is such a core foundation to everybody's lives. It's like it's hard, and once you get it right and do it right, it's not that hard, and it's helping. I'd like to say, like, help people live their authentic lives.
Totally. I have always framed it in a little bit of what Jacob Needleman talked about money and the meaning of life, that money will not give us meaning, but we won't find meaning without the support of money.
Absolutely. Yes. And I like to say, like, it's just a different lens of our life. And for good or bad, it's actually the most obvious aspect of our life, because you can always come down to a number, and you can always communicate and show with a number, not just saying like that's the most important thing, but that's a symptom, or the external view of our life, basically.
Ted Klontz, who was an author with me on 3 of the books, excuse me, who is a psychologist, said that the one thing he liked in doing this work is that money is so tactile, and that the progress in financial therapy, there's a measurement for it. If I come because I'm overspending and there is no progress made on my overspending, there may be some shifts going on, but it hasn't impacted the financial behavior that I have come to change. And if that behavior changes, is a tactile indicator, a metric of what's happening therapeutically.
I see. So we are following the change.
Yeah. And he says in normal therapy, you can kind of maybe see some shifts and things like that, but nothing as definitive as, I was overspending by $7,000 a month, and today I'm saving $1,000 a month.
There you go.
right?
That's a huge achievement.
So that's what really grasped him. To me, coming from the money side, I was just like, well, kind of duh. Of course. If it doesn't change the money behavior, then something isn't working, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like also there are other things, right? Like if they can proactively think about the life they want and living the life using their resources to build their life, then that's a good metric as well.
Absolutely.
And
So many different metrics. I didn't
mhm,
have a will and now I have a will,
yes, that's very direct.
right?
Yeah.
So do you mostly work with couples, Prudence?
Yes, I work with primarily pre-retiree couples and cross-culture couples.
Okay. So that's a um, quite a niche for you.
I think pre-retiree is not a niche in itself, but just couples. Also, I wouldn't consider it also a niche. Like, but maybe cross-culture couples might be a niche.
Well,
But it's
that's
just like
true.
my approach.
Any couple under 65 could be called pre-retirement, right? Well, do you work with couples who are retired?
Well, some of my clients have retired. Yeah, so that's a natural transition. They started when they were planning for retirement, and now they are retired and traveling the world. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, before we got started, you brought up something that really has your attention today.
Absolutely.
Maybe the beginning of a second book. I don't know.
No, not yet, but I'm actively developing something that could be more approachable and more, you know, can be implemented more often, not just me and not
So
just the
talk
book.
talk to us about the two sides of money.
Yeah, so I'm working on the two sides money framework, and it has three parts. The first part is very closely tied to money scripts that you and Brett Klontz worked on. So what I'm thinking, and from my observation as well as personal experience, I've identified three tiers of money scripts. So it's the first tier is the internal script, like what do I believe about money? The second tier is between us script, like for a couple, what do they believe and share around money? And the third tier is the beyond us scripts. So now we're talking about the cultural background, the life uh, lived life experience, and the gender difference, the power dynamic, family expectations, and all that. So essentially, this is kind of like a three-step in building a collaborative process with a couple. So the first step would be like, tune into yourself and your own money stories. The second step is to build a common value or a common financial language between the couple so that they can have a foundation to solve all the differences or conflicts in their lives. Right. So it's interesting. Like I also read Gottman's book, the Happy Marriage, like or the Seven Principles or whatever. I think the metric, the one number that really jumped out to me, you also quoted, is 69% of the conflicts or differences in life can never be solved. And I think that was in my first maternity leave. Like I read that number because I had my baby. I was juggling, between multiple identities, and I was having a lot of problem feeling happy in that situation. And I read the book. Needless to say, we had, some little fights, big or small, about money back then with my husband. So that was a wake-up call. It's like, if the problem and the difference is persistent, what can we do about it? And for me, it really comes down to, there's a reason why you marry that person. There's a reason why you're sharing a life. And there's a lot of possibility and benefit in working together as a team. So build that foundation, build that between us language or script, and then level it up to incorporate that and build system to that works with the overall picture, the beyond us scripts.
I love that. I love that. I'm just really relating to that. And when you're talking about the our money scripts, the couple ship money scripts, and the question was, are for couples, is there one type you should be looking for? One type, let's say somebody in a certain category of money script. If I'm in money avoidant, do I want a money avoidant? Somebody that has mostly money avoidance scripts, or would there be an ideal compatibility in categories of money scripts? And my answer was no. If you got a couple that both are money avoidant, they're just happy as can be. But man, they'll go over the waterfall together because they won't see it coming.
Yeah.
And kind of to what you brought up, let's say you got a money avoidant and a money vigilant couple, and they're fighting. And what they possess as a team, as an hour, are the necessary skills to become a really good team. If instead of attacking each other, they would join forces, and one has a good offense and one has a good defense. And I think that's what you've just described.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I also agree. There is no perfect match because in manuscript, a couple that works well together, right? So me as an example, me and my husband almost have identical personality score and identical, manuscript score. So we are very much aligned on paper, but somehow we still manage to have different opinions on things and that we can not let go of. And also I noticed that I do use manuscript with all my clients, and I also used it because I taught at ASU for one of the financial planning courses. So I asked all my students and clients. For the students, I asked them to do the manuscript survey before the semester and after the semester. And one thing I found interesting was that money focus increased by a little bit and money vigilance increased by quite a bit. And I think that's totally makes sense because, they are second year or last year in their undergrad class and they are financial planning major concentration, and that specific semester they were also learning estate planning, insurance planning, and financial planning. So it makes sense. One side, they are being more aware on the career development, so that's the money focus, and also money vigilance because they are just like learning so much and understanding new opportunities.
That's very interesting. I haven't retested clients a lot with that. And it does make sense that as someone that wasn't, say, necessarily vigilant would become more aware of that, and potentially their money scripts in that area would increase or potentially become more rigid as they gather beliefs. I mean, I'm almost seeing where a person can swing from one side to the other on anything, right?
So from my data, I don't see a big swing on avoidance and status because I believe that's more ingrained to their lived experience or, childhood memory. But vigilance and focus can actually change. So for example, a client who's getting ready for retirement, I actually see it very often in my clients. They come to me, they're scared, they have the money, they don't know because they're about to give up all the monthly paycheck or bi-weekly paycheck. And they're very scared. They don't know if they're going to pull it off. And by the end of the second or third meeting, They've seen all the numbers, they've seen the different scenarios, they've seen the tax implication and returns and the impact on their portfolio, and they already know all the strategies they had used to improve their position. Now they are relaxed.
You're presenting something to me in a way I haven't thought about it. Now, you're using money focused. I think the term I used was money status.
I think money focus is previously money worship. Money status has not changed.
Okay, so money focus equaling money status or money worship. Sorry.
Yeah, because I think money worship has like kind of a negative connotation, especially for the younger people.
Okay, so money focus. Yeah, I could see that could be a more approachable term.
Yeah,
I like that, money focus. So I'm wondering, Prudence, you're talking about a sample size, a population that's coming from more avoidant and status potentially that don't change, but they're learning more about money, how money works, and you're seeing that show up in their money focus and their money vigilance. I'm wondering if we were working with a population that is money vigilant.
mm-hmm.
Right?
That's all my clients.
And focus, if they might have a similar shift as they work on the therapeutic side to status and avoidance. Not that they would become avoidant, but where they would become a little, have more flexibility around, it's okay to spend. It's okay to go have a vacation. It's okay to buy a new car, assuming, of course, that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to relax around my money and take on some of the more positive qualities, say, of money avoidant money scripts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so I was just going to pull up another data point because I did the same, money survey, money script survey for the group coaching program that I had through this a couple's couple's life and money program. It's a 3 to 4 months program, and I was going back to the results before and after. So it's also in my book, one of the pages. So it seems that the biggest change is long-term planning and money stress. So one of the questions I had was, I have a clear plan for achieving my long-term financial goals, and that went up 36% in the course of 3 to 4 months. It's true, like it's a limited sample number and may not be statistically significant. I'd love to expand the program and the study and do a white paper to more population, right? And then the other one is I feel stressed when thinking about my retirement savings. So that one also decreased by 30%.
That's
the
that
other
is good
three.
stuff.
The other three didn't have a big change. So
Didn't have a change.
like not big, not significant, I would think.
Prudence, we are out of time.
This is very, very exciting stuff. Thank you.
It absolutely is. Where can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I periodically write news articles and short stories of new things that I'm working on and find interesting. And also, they can also find me on the Financial Therapist Association website, as well as NAPFA website and Gary Planning Network website.
And what's your website?
My website is ENSO, ENSOFIN.com, ENSO Financial. Great.
Prudence, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Your work is just fascinating.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I made the career switch 3 years ago, and I'm very advocate for people to do their own work and for people to find trustworthy financial professionals to help them do the work.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for joining me, Rick Kahler, for another episode of Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. This is where I combine the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Remember, every financial behavior, whether it appears illogical to you or others, makes perfect sense when we understand the underlying beliefs, feelings, and thoughts. Sign up for my weekly blog at financialawakenings.com. I hope you'll join me again for our next episode.